Welcome back to Mindful Progress, a journey where usually me, Torrid Embrox, I talk about creepypastas and other stuff, but today I have a very different topic to talk about, and I'm pretty sure most of you have no idea what I'll be talking about. But if you do, then congrats. What you read was actually a really great thing. So, what I'm talking about today is the Library of Babel. I have no clue if anybody has heard of this yet, or this is the first time you guys are hearing about this, but I recommend you guys to read this. It's a short story, it's not a novel per se, but it's still a really great book. So, the Library of Babel, it's written by Jorge Luis Borges. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct because it's a Spanish name. Obviously, the book was written in Spanish first because this guy he's from Argentine. Yep, this guy he's from Argentine. So I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but in English, if I try to read his name, it's Jorge Luis Borges. Anyway, so he wrote the Library of Babel. So what's so intriguing about this? His short story per se, like why am I talking about this? Well, first of all, the Library of Babel introduces a universe which is made up of hexagons. Now you might be thinking, okay, what's so cool about these hexagons? Well, these hexagons are actually shelves on which books are kept. So if you can already imagine, if the universe is made up of hexagons and the hexagons are shelves for the books, then obviously it means that the universe is a library. Now, the entire universe is a library. So people who are bookworms must be happy, right? You would be absolutely wrong because most of the books here do not make any sense. I'll explain why. All the books that are here are randomly generated. Think of it as a Minecraft world. No seed is same to another seed. Every time you create a new world, it generates a seed for you and the terrain is randomly generated. Same thing happens at the Library of Babel. It is said that every book is already there. Every text imaginable has already been written there. How is it possible? Because the books only contains letters, so like alphabets, A, B, C, D's, space, so like something like, for example, one word that says cat, there's a space and then there will be written dog, something like this. So it also contains spaces, and it contains, what is it called? It also contains punctuations, yes, like periods and commas. So now, here's the thing, every book that exists in this library, oh, and by the way, I think I forgot to mention it, but the library is infinite as well. Like the entire universe is infinite, okay? In real life, universe is always expanding, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I've read that somewhere, could be wrong about this. But in the novel, not in the novel, my bad, in the short story, the universe is infinite and the universe is a library. So the library is also infinite. And every book there is randomly generated. The books have alphabets, punctuations, and spaces. So now what that means is every book imaginable is already there, because if you have 10 monkeys and 10 monkeys are typing in typewriters for an infinite amount of time, now the monkeys will be typing randomly, they don't know what they're typing. But if you let this go on for like infinite amount of time, eventually they'll be able to write your name randomly, obviously, like they don't know they wrote your name, but your name will be there. So now, that's not just the most intriguing part about this. The most intriguing part about this is like the idea that every text imaginable, every knowledge exists already in that place. So like if we go there in the Library of Babel, we could find anything. So like there could be a book which explains your life, there could be a book which predicts the future, there could be a book which tells us which religion is real, which countries are bad, what is what, yada yada. It could explain everything, right? But here's the thing, here's the worst part about this library. Since everything is randomly generated, the majority of the books make no sense. It's just like imagine you give the keyboard to a toddler and he just bangs it. It's well, yeah, definitely it's gonna type out some words, but those words wouldn't make sense. For example, if I type RTYSD, RTYSD, that's not even a real word in English, by the way, or I don't know if it's a real word in another language, but in English it's not. So that is how it works. So like, and the reason this thing is like so emphasized in this short story is because, as you might know, or you probably don't know, is every single word has a meaning, right? Every single word has a meaning. For example, if I say apple, apple, it's a fruit, we all know this. But if I say, for example, I don't know, let me think, Nokua. Did that make any sense to you? Nokua makes no sense, right? However, if you write that with Bengali alphabets, or even if you like, if I text one of my Bengali friends and I say Nokua, the first thing they're gonna think of is a boat. They'll be like, oh, do you mean a boat? Because even though the words were randomly pressed, it made sense in another language. If I write, for example, POMME, which is in English, if you read it, it's gonna be pom, something like that. However, in French, it would make complete sense because that means an apple. So you see, even though the words are randomly generated, all of them make sense. There's probably an ancient language that we don't know of, that's like probably forgotten, a language which ancient humans spoke of. Even Google Translate doesn't know about the language, and those random words could mean something in that language. So the short story, definitely what it's trying to say is that it's not the words that don't make sense, it's us who don't understand them. It's like all the books here mean something. Like, to us, these books are randomly generated. But if we truly knew the meaning behind these randomly generated words, it would open a whole new world for us. I hope I'm making sense with where I'm going with all of this, right? Because this has turned into this is not a creepypasta anymore, it's more of a philosophical dilemma here. Now, craziest thing here is that in the novel, why do I keep calling it a novel? In the short story, right, there are people who look for like the absolute truth. They're searching for this book which explains the true nature of universe and everything. There are these like false prophets who pretend that they know the ultimate truth and whatever, and there are people who follow these prophets. So this aspect of the story also reveals that like when something happens that we don't know why it happened, we usually give it meanings. We give it meanings that like simplified meanings. Actually, we give it simplified meanings so our brains can understand it, even though in reality the meanings we are giving these means like absolutely nothing. For example, these people are following this false prophet because they don't know where to go. In reality, the false prophet does not know where to go either, but we're following him because we don't know what to do. And that's the thing, it explains our nature. This thing just explains our nature on like why we do stuff, or What do we think about all of this stuff? I hope I'm making sense with all of this. And another thing which is crazy, now let me look this up because I'm not sure about this. Yeah, so like the library also has no ending or beginning because it's infinite. That's just how infinite works. It has no ending, no beginning. So like essentially it's like Borges, the guy who wrote this, is using this idea to question whether infinite knowledge is actually useful to humans or not. It's like truth exists somewhere in the library, but it is practically impossible to find because all the books are randomly generated and we don't know where to look. Okay? So it kinds of comes up as a paradox. Like, having access to everything can be just as frustrating as having access to nothing. It's like the librarians who are there looking for the book. They know that truth exists, but they cannot reach it. So like this, Borges suggests that knowledge without structure or understanding loses its value. Like, you could know a whole lot of things, but if you don't understand those things, then it's practically useless. And this is why this short story, when I read it, was so magnificent that I just had to make a podcast episode about this. I usually don't talk about books here, but come on, like, how could I not talk about this? This was amazing. I'll tell you this. Read the book for yourself. You'll understand why I'm glazing it so much. But in conclusion, like, what I truly think is Borges really did a great job with this book. Like, this idea that came out of his mind is just absolute bonkers. Okay, you could say the library is like a symbol that he uses. It could represent the human brain or even language itself. Like, um infinite words. Like, look, you have 26 letters in the alphabet. You can make like a lot of words. Right, I'm pretty sure it's not infinite because the combination would end, but it's like a lot of words. How many words would actually make sense to us? The letter A, in and of itself, we think of it, oh, A means one. There is a tree. There's one tree. We know A means that. But if I say there is a Q tree, Q, the word Q, makes no sense. What if it would make sense? Like, if you give this Q a meaning, it would make sense, and that's the thing. The, like, I don't even know how to say this. Like, the library, it represents the language. It's like the language tries to explain reality, but it is limited. The language is limited. Reality isn't. Reality could be whatever, right? You could make, like, for example, you know how we have like abstract paintings and whatnot. Why do you think these paintings are called abstract? We could have given a name to these weird shapes and whatever, right? We could have, but we didn't because we couldn't understand them. Reality can be whatever. When they created the first monitor or the mouse, it didn't have a name. We gave it a name, didn't we? So that's how it works. Like, reality is expandable. Language, however, stays behind. It's limited. Even with infinite combinations of words, true meanings remains elusive. So, like, that's all I had to say. I mean, yeah. I hope all of this kind of made sense to you guys, because it sure did make a lot of sense to me when I read it. It was a really great read. Oh, and another thing, if you go to Library of Babel.info, the website, it lets you, it's like a, how do I say this, it's like a virtual version of the library. You can like search up any book there, any name, anything. You can enter up to 3200 characters in a text box, and it's gonna show you exactly where that word has been written, or that line, phrase, whatever you write has been written. And by the way, this, if I remember correctly, this, I kind of forgot. Dang. Yeah, this website has been here for a long time, by the way. It's like, it's not gonna generate something for you. It has been there. Everything, every book that the library contains, it is in this website. You can go and look for it. It's really cool. I'll also link it in the description, so you'll have a easy time looking for it. Anyways, that was all from me. Thank you for listening to my rant about this short story. I hope you have a great night, and bye bye. I'll see you again in the month of March, last Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Torrid Embrox signing off. Bye bye.